Hello and welcome back to Read with Miss Olson. I'm here with the pigeon today. If you're in my kindergarten class, we have been learning how to be what's called an avid reader. Someone who likes to read all the time and is really good at it. And even you can be an avid reader too. And we have been learning how to be an avid reader with non-fiction text or informational text, right? And one thing that avid readers do for informational text is they become experts about something and they get to teach someone else. We are going to be reading this informational text today, this nonfiction book, this real story called Red Eyes or Blue Feathers, a book about animal colors. And while we are reading today, most of the time we're looking for a word to watch or we're doing some predicting. We're not going to do that today. Today, I want you to think about one animal that I read about, and I want you to become an expert on that. And you're probably thinking, but Ms. Olson, how do I become an expert on that? Well, when you see the animal that you like the best, I want you to listen really extra good, and I want you to think that's the animal that I'm going to teach them about. And then when you're done, you're going to get to draw and write about that one animal that you listen to really extra good. Before we get started, I want to do a picture walk with you. I want to walk through the book so that we can look at some of the pictures today. And when you see an animal you really like, that's the one that I want you to listen really extra good to. So let's do a picture walk and think about which animal you like the best, okay? And then we'll go back and we'll read the whole story together. And we'll get to look at some of these cool animals. So here's our first animal. Our second animal of the book. Think about the one you want to listen really good to. Then we have our third animal. And we have our fourth animal. And our fifth animal. Okay, have you seen the one you want yet? If not, there's a few more. And our sixth animal. And our seventh animal. And our eighth animal. And I think this is our last animal. Now, we saw pictures of 9 different animals. I want you to think, which one are you going to listen extra hard to? You're going to get to hear about all of them, but think about the one that you want to listen extra hard to. Thumbs up when you have your animal. Which one do I want to listen extra hard to? Oh, I know. I got mine. I'm going to do the bird. I saw the bird and I thought it looked so cool. And you know, Miss Olson loves birds. Here's her pigeon. So I see a lot of you have your thumbs up, which means you probably have your animal too. Let's get started. Red Eyes or Blue Feathers, a book about animal colors. Written by Patricia M. Stockland. She's our author. She wrote all the words. Illustrated by Todd Oren. He's our illustrator. He drew all the pictures. Let's learn about these animals. Color adaptation. What's the best way to survive in the wild? Adaptation. Now you're probably thinking, Miss Olson, what does adaptation mean? It means when animals change so that they can better protect themselves. So these animals are able to change the way they look so that they can better protect themselves. It says, color is one way to adapt. So how does an animal's color help it survive? Some animals have colors that help them hide from hungry predators. Other animals use their colors from being seen while they hunt. Colors even help animals find mates or talk to each other. Read on to find out why some animals have such clever colors. So we're going to get to learn about all these different animal colors. Thumbs up if you picked the red-eyed tree frog to be your animal to become an expert on. Awesome. Bright red eyes shine in the night. The red-eyed tree frog is wide awake. During the day, the tiny frog hides its bright colors by closing its eyes and tucking up its legs. The red-eyed tree frog's shiny green back blends in with the trees. Predators think the little frog is a leaf. That is so cool. So it's green, so it looks like the leaf, so people won't eat him. Wow. The vertical pupils of the red-eyed tree frog help it better to see at night. Daytime frogs usually have horizontal pupils. I think I just heard a tricky word, pupils. When we become experts at something, we use fancy words to help us become experts. And one of those words I heard was pupils. So they use their pupils to help them see better. So cool. Let's read about the polar bear. Maybe this is the one you picked. White fur surrounds a shiny black nose. A polar bear slowly lumbers across the snow. The polar bear's snow-colored coat blends in with the Arctic tundra. Its favorite treat is seal blubber. As the bear sits on the edge of the ice, a seal comes up for air. The seal doesn't see the giant paw grabbing for it. Grrr! Can you do a polar bear growl with me? Ready? Grrr! You're good at that. Polar bears are not actually white. Their fur is transparent or clear. Light reflects off it and makes it appear white or yellowish. Wow, the polar bear fur is so cool. I would use one of these expert words if I wanted to teach someone about it. It says that their fur is transparent. That is so cool. That means it's clear. So their fur is not actually white. It's transparent. The red fox. Rusty-colored fur rustles through the woods. A red fox follows a scent. This small fox finds food in many places. Its red coat and dark tail help it blend in with plants and trees. Neither predators nor prey can see the sly fox. Being able to hide so well helps this animal live and survive in many different places. The red fox will eat almost anything, including insects, fruits, and leftover food from people's garbage cans. Seahorse. Yellow, green, and brown seaweed swishes in the shallow sea. A small seahorse swishes in the seaweed too. The seahorse is a slow swimmer. Its yellow-brown armor helps it blend in with the seaweed. Larger fish can't see the seahorse hiding. The seahorse can quickly change color to blend in better with its surroundings. It also changes color when it mates. That is so cool. I never knew a seahorse could change colors. That's smart. It'll end up looking like the seaweed, so no one will eat it. Ooh, a killer whale. A huge black and white animal glides through the water. The killer whale is ready to attack. This ocean mammal is a smart hunter. Black and white markings help this large animal hide. From below, its white belly looks like sunlight. From above, its black back becomes part of the ocean's shadows. Killer whales use a lot of hunting tricks. Some swim under chunks of ice and tip them. Resting seals slide right into the water. Wow, that's cool. Killer whales, they can tip the ice and the seals will slide into the water and then they'll eat them. They're pretty good predators. I found mine. This is the one I said I'm going to become an expert on. Let's see if I can do that. Okay. Macaw. Red, blue, yellow, and green feathers float in the air. A colorful macaw lands in the trees. Macaws are some of the brightest birds around. The fancy colors fit well in their rainforest homes. These bold colors help the parrots blend into their surroundings. The white skin around the macaw's beak will turn red if the bird is excited or angry. Wow, I learned so much about the macaw. I learned that they are made up of all different colored feathers like green and red and blue and yellow. And I learned that the macaw, it can fly. I learned that it is a bright colored bird that blends in to the surroundings in the rainforest. That way, they stay safe. I also learned that the face of the macaw is white, but it can turn red when it gets angry or excited. That is some exciting stuff about the macaw. I really feel like an expert now. Black rhinoceros. A big booming tank stops down the hill. The black rhino is on its way to the watering hole. This giant creature isn't really black. It's actually gray. Rhinos like to cool off by getting dirty, but the mud also makes them look darker. A nice mud bath makes the hot African sun easier to handle. The dried mud on the rhino skin also protects the animal from pesky flies. That's cool. So rhinos are so dark because they lay in the mud, and it protects them from the flies. Protect seems like an expert word, a fancy word that people use when they're an expert. Oh, this one looks like it's going to be fun to read. A jewel beetle. A shiny blue and gold shell shimmers in the sun. A jewel beetle sparkles on a flower. This bright beetle looks pretty enough to wear, but don't be fooled. It uses its dazzling color as a disguise. Predators think this tasty creature is part of the plant. Jewel beetles also use their bright colors to find mates. Well, jewel beetles seem so cool. They sit on plants so that people can't find them. It's a disguise. That's one of those expert words we can use to help teach someone else. Remember, a disguise is like a costume, something that hides the jewel beetle. It looks just like this flower around it, so it looks like it's part of it, so people won't eat it. Jewel beetles seem pretty cool. The chameleon. Green skin turns yellow and then turns red instead. The changing chameleon rests on a rock. A chameleon's shade changes depending on its mood or temperature. It uses this clever color code to show how it feels. Color is one way chameleons communicate. Many people think chameleons can change any color, but they can't. Their colors do include black, white, blue, green, red, and yellow. That is so cool. So I learned that chameleons can change their color based on how they feel or if they're hot or cold. So this was our story all about different kind of animals. And as we went through, you guys each chose one animal that you want to become an expert on and become an avid nonfiction reader. Now Miss Olson, she became an expert on the macaw and how it has many, many different colors because where it lives is a colorful place, so it blends into where it lives. And it also has a white face that can turn red when it's angry or excited. Now, I want you to go draw and write about one of the animals that you learned about today, the one you chose to become an expert on. Tell me what you learned about them and draw me a picture of it. I can't wait to see what you write and draw about it. If you post it in the comments below, I'll try to respond to you. Bye!